Hey everyone, Coach Walter here, coming to you with episode 10 of Finding Your Game. For those that don't know, Finding Your Game is a podcast interviewing various guests in the hopes that these guests can share in their golf journey to help you in your golf journey. I'm really excited to introduce our guest for today, Mahanth Chirravuri. Mahanth is a senior at Pepperdine, and Mahanth just recently finished runner-up at the Golf Club of Georgia with rounds of 66, 71, 70. Mahanth has had a good fall season, and that also includes finishing 5th at the Invitational at the Honors Course in Tennessee, a 6th place finish at the Sahalee Players in Washington, and a 17th finish at the Ben Hogan Collegiate over in Texas. At Pepperdine last season, Mahanth was a third-team All American and was West Coast Conference Co-Golfer of the Year with a 70.38 scoring average that included 23 rounds under par out of 40 competitive rounds. He was also the West Coast Conference. He also won the West Coast Conference title, individual title, and finished 9th at the NCAA Championship. He is currently ranked 7th in the PGA Tour U ranking. Prior to college, Mahanth was a 2-time AJGA All American that includes winning the 2023 AJGA Simplify Invitational at Carlton Woods. I actually remember watching Mahanth play the 18th hole. The 18th hole is a really tough hole, water right, wind into you, and it was a cold winter day in Houston. And I remember Mahanth striping a drive down the middle of the fairway and then hitting another solid approach shot, 2-putting, and winning that tournament for par with all the pressure and everyone watching him because he was in last group. So I was really impressed with Mahanth's composure, and he's continued to play well. I followed his career, his collegiate career. So Mahanth, really appreciate your time, and congratulations on so far a solid fall season at Pepperdine. I'm sure there's some strokes out there that you wanted to say, but congratulations so far.
Thanks, Coach. That I do remember that you were there on that 18th hole because I think I was with one of your commits or something I was playing with. So that was really cool. Yeah, that was a really cool moment.
Yeah, you had all the pressure. Everyone's watching, and it was cold, and it's a tough hole, and you just kept your composure. Like I mean, you really did a good job, and congratulations on that win.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
So Mahanth, please tell the audience a little bit about yourself. I mentioned you're senior at Pepperdine, but where are you from? How old were you when you started playing golf? Maybe when did you get serious? And how about one memorable moment?
Right. I started playing golf when I was 3, 4-ish years old, so really early, and I started playing tournaments like almost 6 years old, I think was my first event. So I started really young and competitively really young as well. And I think even when I was really young, I used to play in a lot of tournaments, like even from the U.S. kids events or like the one-day events, and just I'd always kind of put myself out there, and it was pretty like the goal was always to play collegiately from a young age. I always kind of pushed myself from a young age as well. So I started playing a ton, and then really kind of like my breakthrough moment was when I was 11 years old, I lost in a playoff for the IMG Junior World here in San Diego. So that was like I finished second there, and that was kind of like a moment where I realized like, okay, like this is something that we could do at a highly competitive level. I know it's still a young age and there's a long ways, but I felt like that was a moment where I could compete with the best players in the world. And even though they were young, I still felt that. And so just kind of progressively got better. One thing I did that my dad did for me was when I was young, like 13, 12 years old, I'd always used to play with, like, if I was 11, I'd play with 13, 14 players. When I was 12 or 13, I'd play with the boys championship, the division, just the local state tournaments. So that really helped me score the ball better because I would be significantly shorter than them. So I would have to find a way to compete with them, right? So I learned a lot of different skills doing that at a young age, and I think that really helped me later on because I had those scoring abilities or whatever little because I needed to have a good short game. I needed to have a good wedge game. I needed to develop these skills, and that's what I think that's what really been helped me. And favorite memory I think was just like always like these team events. I think a big one was just our first team win. It happened at our conference championship last year. I think that was really cool because this team, it was kind of like so I transferred in from USC after my first year. And so it was like a different group of guys. All six of us, we're all young, sophomores and freshmen. And it was really cool that, we grew kind of just from the bottom. I think we were ranked like 60th my sophomore year at Pepperdine. And then we grew, and then we got better, and then we won our conference event, and then we made it through regionals, and then we made a push to make it to the match play of the national championship. So that growth over that year that postseason was one of the most memorable times of my life, because it was just really cool to see us come together, and it's the same group of guys, and really grow and legitimately have a chance to make match play, which is really cool. So that was a really cool moment, or just a cool memory for me. And then also my high school team was we won 3 straight titles, state championships in high school.
Wow.
So we had a really good competitive high school team, which I think also helped me get better, because there were parts of my game that my high school teammates were better than me at. So I felt like I could always push myself and learn from them, and it just kind of pushed me along the line, just seeing really good golf every day and competing with that. So I know that was a long answer, but that was just kind of just a quick, journey.
That's where are you from though? So the audience know. I know where you're from.
So I'm from Chandler, Arizona.
Okay.
I went to Hamilton High School.
Good school.
So basically went to Arizona, grew up in Arizona, and my first year I went to USC. I committed when I was 16 or 15 years old. And then after that, I transferred to Pepperdine for my second year. So I've been here for Pepperdine for 2.5 years now.
Mahanth, I think it's awesome how you talk about high school golf and what it meant to you in terms of playing in a team environment. I think a lot of like the AJGA and all these other invitationals kind of drown out high school golf. So it doesn't, for some, doesn't high school golf doesn't have the same like oomph as someone for yourself. So I'm glad you're able to talk about the benefits of high school golf for the audience out there.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool time in your life. I mean, you get to be part of your friends, and at the end of the day, like, you still look back on some of those moments, like winning 3 state titles. There's so many memories of just shots, and just honestly, not even that, just the camaraderie every day. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool environment, and I have to thank my high school coach, Steve Canner, for that, because he allowed that environment to happen.
That's awesome.
He made it fun for us. He made it enjoyable. It wasn't, and he made it competitive, and it was really cool. We traveled to, like, as a high school, we would travel to Texas. We had a trip there, so it was a lot of fun for me, and it was a really cool time in my life, for sure.
The other thing you mentioned I think is really interesting is how you mentioned that your dad leveled you up in terms of your age, and I think the audience, maybe something that they're not, if they don't see it from my lens, is I think it shows a lot of your patience and composure being at a young age and competing with older people, because it's hard to be patient. Like, you want to do well when you're young, and you probably still played well, but it shows your level of maturity at an early age to view it from a lens of hey, this is an opportunity for me to not complain or be mad at my dad, but like there's an opportunity to long-term growth.
Yeah, it was, I think looking back on it, it was big, because, I struggled. I got beat up, and I could have just played with 11 and 12-year-olds and win and, compete, but it really beat me up for, I think when I was 12 and 13, I struggled, and I think it allowed me it really exposed my weaknesses. And again, it allowed me to score, right? Like, there were some par 4s where I had 3 wood in when they had 6 iron, 7 iron, how can you get the ball in the hole? And those parts of my games, I think really it really shaped, and it's helping me. I think it's helped me down the line. Like right now in college, I think it's really helped me. So, huge. Although it sucked in the moment, it's helped down the road. Yeah.
Another point you bring up that's really huge is just the art of scoring, or just being able to score. And for you to understand that it's just not about perfecting your golf swing, but just finding a way to compete. I think that's really, really huge.
Yeah.
Mahanth, you've played at a high level for a long time. But how do you feel like you've maybe improved in college? Like from a distance, your game just continues to level up at whatever level you're at or age. So how would you say you've improved in college since junior golf?
Yeah, so I think a big part of that is Coach Beard. He's really helped me. When I first came to Pepperdine, there were some physical things, just game wise, that I need to improve on, and then there was a whole bunch of mental aspects and mental skill that I needed to improve on, and I think he's helped me in both aspects. Whether it was facing adversity on the course, or how to deal with a tough moment, or how to make the right shot at the right time. And there's so many different things, a lot of little things that my coaches at Pepperdine have helped me with. And I think those little things really make a difference in the key moments when it really matters. And then a lot of physical things as well, developing better wedge game, short game. I've hit it significantly better since I first got here to now, whether that is just, developing physically or a little bit of skill work. I started working with Tony Greco about a year and a half ago, and he's helped me a lot with my golf swing. So there's a lot of little elements that's kind of led to growth, and it's not always been that way. I've finished poorly at a lot in tournaments, and I think what thing Coach Beard does a great job of is not just, when you finish bad, it's just not like a bad week. Why did it happen? Why, what can we take away? What are moments where we failed throughout the round where we could have done things differently? So I think just growing every single event and using those weaknesses to get better has helped me get better, I think. And, and there's always just ways. I think just being open to the idea of being coachable and learning and just learning from your weaknesses, I think that's always going to help you down the road. I think I've kind of played the long game a little bit, and I think that's always better rather than needing immediate results right now and don't get the results and going down a bad road. I think just focusing on improving over your course of your college career is going to help you. So I think that's kind of what I've done.
Yeah, a lot to be said for that in terms of, golf is a marathon. It's nice to have quick and instant success, but long-term gains benefit short-term losses.
100%. And I think that's one thing where I struggled with a little bit in junior golf, because when I was getting recruited, it was at a really young age. I was getting recruited when I was 14-ish, 13 even. Like I was getting, really recruited. So when you're getting recruited, it's like you got to play well in front of these coaches. You need a scholarship, whatever it is. There's so many things, right? So I think it's important to understand that it's not important to be really the best 15, 16-year-old. It's more important to be the best 21, 22, 23-year-old, or even professional. So I think, I think it's really important to just kind of think of it through that perspective rather than, putting so much pressure in junior golf or even in college.
Yeah. Something that I don't want to just gloss over is, my Coach Beard's one of my close friends. I've always admired the work that he does, but kudos to you though for opening up to him and sharing where you feel like you can grow, because when I was coaching at Cal, I could ask players tell me about it, and they wouldn't open up, and so if a player doesn't open up, it's really hard for a coach. And so kudos to you for showing your vulnerability, I guess, to Coach Beard and the other. So
we've had many long conversations. But
Coach V's
I
got like a
trust him.
couch.
Yeah, I trust him a lot, and I trust my assistant coach Nick Robinson and the coaches, Coach
Yeah.
Allred, Coach Samry that came through Pepperdine, and when I know that they're great coaches and they've accomplished so much, so I really trust them to develop my game, and they've helped me tremendously. I wouldn't be in this position without them, and I truly owe a lot to them. So I really thank them for what they've done for me. So
Wow, who would have thought this podcast is a total promo for Pepperdine Golf?
Yeah.
Go Waves, go Waves.
Yeah, go Waves.
I feel like you've kind of shed a little bit of light on this, but if you could go back in time, Mahanth, would you do anything different? Would you tell your younger self anything different?
Yeah, I would. I think I put a lot of emphasis on performing at a young age, and I think that was good. That was healthy. It shows urgency. It shows intensity while you play. But I think I should have put more emphasis on the long term, right? Like let's focus more on improving every day rather than putting all our eggs in this one tournament. And if it doesn't go right, it was a lot of pressure every tournament for me that I put on myself because I wanted to win. I wanted to get noticed by coaches. I wanted to do all these things, and that I think that's healthy because it pushes you to get better. But also I think having that long-term plan at a young age, being like, okay, like right now I'm not where I need to be, but if over this next 2 years, if I can plan it out right and do the things I need to do, I can get where I want to be. And always having that long-term vision is important, because at the end of the day, I feel like I developed at a young age, but there's a lot of really good college players that weren't that good when they were 15 and 16, and they developed when they're 18, 19. So I think no matter the skill level that you're at, if you can have more of a long-term plan and, just get better every day, I think it really helps you. And it takes pressure off of you as well. It's more of an enjoyable way to play the game rather than, each tournament being the end all be all,
Well, piggybacking off that, how do you feel now that you're a senior and you got PGA Tour U? Can you take your own advice and look at long term?
I probably can't. I don't know.
It's okay.
I've struggled with that. It's way easier said to be done, because if I struggle with it every day. Not every day, but a lot. It's not easy at PGA Tour U, and there's so much going on now, especially with NIL and transfer portal. It's a mess. So it's tough. The thing about PGA Tour U is, I think whenever I have people tell me that it's not that important, I don't think that helps me, because it is very important. It is a big deal. So I think I do a better job if I kind of embrace that it's a big deal. And I love that more than just like downplaying it, because I think it's different for everyone. I think some people think of it as too big of a deal and they kind of need to downplay it, but I don't really work that way. I feel like it's better if I just understand that it's a big deal and, play hard and, do embrace that and get better because of that and use that as fuel or motivation. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job this fall. It's difficult because it's everywhere, right? Like it's on TV. Everyone knows about it. It's everywhere. So you really have to kind of stay in your own world and do the best you can. But I think embracing that and understanding it's a big deal, and know that since it is a big deal, you have to elevate your game to get to that level. So I think that's the way I've kind of looked at it, and I've had a little bit of success, but there's gonna be ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
When your name's moving up the leaderboard, it's easy for anyone. But when it's moving down, and then how can you come back up and perform the next tournament? That's difficult. And I think it'll only better me down the road as a golfer for my career.
Yeah. just for the audience to know, like the PGA Tour U is it's a ranking system for seniors in college, and if you finish 1, you get your PGA Tour card. 2 through 5 get Korn Ferry status right after you finish college, and then I believe 6 through 25 get PGA Tour America's status, and it's a big deal because it gives college players a place to play after the NCAA Championship. Mahanth, what would you say? There's one or two on-course drills or games that you enjoy doing that you might be willing to share with the audience?
Yeah. That's an interesting one. I've gone through a lot of things, but I think one thing that I did was it's easier when I go home than it is. But I used to just over the summer, I used to just drop a lot of golf balls. Let's put ourselves, let's say 120 yards, and let's try to hit as many shots as we can from the 120 yards. And then I always love practicing on the course because there's a pin, it's like you're on the course. It's like a tournament. So I think finding shots on the course and learning shots in the course, and if you don't have that shot, okay, what can we do different to gain that shot, or what different technique, or if you can't do that, then asking people to help you to find that shot. I think that's the best way to get better, in my opinion, rather than just sitting on a range and just hitting, because I think that's how the range is fickle. You can develop bad habits really easily if you just sit there and ball. But I think always kind of gamifying.
I see you. I hear you.
Oh, sorry. It says I lost connection. Oh, that's weird.
Oh, now I lost you.
Sorry about that. I don't know. Sorry about that.
All good. All good. All good.
I just lost connection or something. So I think just gamifying your practice, and one thing that we do a lot is I've been doing for 2.5, 3 years at Pepperdine is we do something called the line test. So we do 6 through 9 iron, 20 shots, and then we drop off the low 2 and we go at the same target. So that really helps me dictate where my ball striking is at. It's because it's essentially like playing a tournament, right? Like, before, like, your tendencies, number one, and exactly where your ball striking is at. So I think that's really good for me because it keeps me on check when I'm not playing tournaments. And so I've been doing that for a couple of years, and we do something called the sim putting round, which is essentially tracking your speed for every putt you hit. It's on the Decade app. I think it's 20 putts from various different distances, and you're tracking the lowest amount of putts that you could hit with good speed, and average being 28 and 1.5 speed ratio. So a lot of the Decade stuff, we got that from Chris Zambry, who's big on Decade. So I probably do both of those at least twice a week, or once or twice a week at least. So
the line test is it based on dispersion, like how much you miss it left or right?
Exactly. And then you add it up over 18 shots. So you go like 9 iron, then 8 iron, then 6 iron, then you go back 7, 8, 9. So I think that'd be 5 sets. So that'd be 20 shots in total. And it's like a target in the distance. And the first shot, would be 4 yards right. And then the second shot would be 6 yards. So you just add them up, and then you drop the 2 worst ones.
Okay.
So, a good score would be like 50 yards offline for over the 20 yards, 20 shots. If you added up all the 20 shots, a good score would be like 50 yards offline for all those short irons. And if I'm really hitting it good, I would get to like 35 yards. And if I'm really struggling, I'd be like 90, 80. So, it's truly an indication, just an indication of how you're hitting it. And I think it's great. I really do. I think it gives you instant feedback. And then you'd be like, oh, I'm missing too many to the right than I did the other day. Like, you can find tendencies on why that's happening. And, we usually do it with the TrackMan. So we get path numbers, and, we can find tendencies on some problems, and I think it's been great for our team, and I think it's been great for me individually, because I felt like my short iron game has gotten better over the years I've been at
Mhm.
Pepperdine. So
Man. Another shout out or promo for Decade Golf.
yeah,
Go
there it
Scott
is. Decade
Fawcett.
Golf.
Hey Scott, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, there it is. Decade Golf. There it is. Yeah.
Um,
It's truly great. I think
yeah,
it's helped us, and Coach Zambri was big on it at USC, and they've had great teams for as many years as he was there. So I think he thinks it was a big part of why that was. So it's great for
yeah.
us.
I mean, there's a reason the USGA picked him as the head
Yeah,
coach of the US developmental squad.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he's a great coach.
Right.
Hey Chris, if you're watching, hey Chris. Hey Michael.
Yeah.
Hey Scott. Just throwing everyone out there.
Yeah.
Now that the fall season's over, Mahanth, will you take some time off? Do you guys practice as a team? It sounds like, oh, we lost. I'm sure Mahanth will come back on, hopefully. So bear with me, audience. Here he comes. Here he comes. And now we have Mahanth back, hopefully. There we go.
I don't know what's happening.
Hey, it's all good. All good. I do no like filter or anything. This is just raw
Yeah.
footage that I put on
Oh,
YouTube.
okay.
So,
Oh, no.
so it's it's okay. We're
Oh,
golfers here. We're not but I was gonna ask with the fall season over, congratulations on a good fall.
Thank
What will your off season look like as a team or for yourself? Will you take some time off? Because golf's a long period of time, but what do you think you'll do on this off season?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Like, you've been going for 10 months now. So
Yeah.
it's nice to kind of sit back and, just kind of be a student and go to class and, hang out on campus and all these things. So
Yeah.
it's going to be nice. I'll probably take a week off for sure. Because this next year is going to be the longest, toughest year so far, because from graduation to my last year in the semester, and then turning pro right away and then going. So it's going to be a lot of golf, and so I want to be well rested for that.
Smart.
And I think another thing is just creating a plan with my coach and finding ways to get better. Like, we have this time. We have 3 months or 2 months till our next event. So how can we find ways to improve? And I could name a number of things just from the fall of ways I could improve. And
Wow.
I think that's important to really use the time efficiently, and because that's really where you're going to separate yourself in the spring, is how can we use this next few months in the fall to effectively make us better. And it's a massive advantage being in California. It really is, because a lot of these schools, it's freezing cold. Some of them can't even golf, so it's perfect outside. So I think it's really an advantage being in California in the off season, because it's perfect weather and I could use it to get better and attack some weaknesses in the game. And hopefully come in the spring, I could be stronger, with my game. And another thing I've struggled with is starting the year off. The first couple events in the spring, I've never really seemed to play well, because it's just such a long break, and I've never really found out why. So I'm trying to figure that out myself, but hopefully I could formulate a better plan throughout the off season to where I can come back stronger in the spring and not kind of slow. So,
Mahanth, I really value and admire just your foresight and just wanting to get better and hungrier to get better, and just self-reflecting where you are now, where you were last year, and just trying to provide opportunities for growth. Which kind of leads me to a question. You mentioned you just started working with Tony Greco about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get questions on like, when is it a good time to switch coaches? Why did you feel like the you needed to switch coaches to a newer coach a year and a half ago?
Yeah, that's the $1,000,000 question. It's tough. I mean, it's really tough. Swing coaches are really fickle because we've heard
Yeah.
stories where guys, are great and they go see a swing coach and you don't hear about them for a few months. Or we've heard stories where, they see a swing coach and it's changed their game and it's
Yeah.
elevated. So it's really fickle. I think the biggest thing when you see a swing coach is you have to understand your swing and certain tendencies and why you have to understand your swing no matter what.
Yeah.
Because a swing coach can only take you so much. There's so much in golf where it doesn't require. There's so much mental skill that you need to get. For example, this last tournament, Coach Beard and I were talking about it. Like, I hit the ball terrible, to be honest, and
Really?
I found a way to get in contention, and that wasn't because of a swing coach. That was because of the mental skill I've gained over the years being at Pepperdine, and I've used that mental skill to get me in contention. And I used other skills like short game and wedges where, those are things where like a swing can kind of come and go, but a short game wedge game is going to be there no matter what. Because I've developed those skills over the years of junior golf and college golf. So I do have that Band-Aid kind of when I need it. And
well said.
So again, for your swing coach, like I think you have to first understand that there's a problem. And when you go see a swing coach, like, I think you need to go with the reason, like, not just make my swing better or make it look better. Or like, I think it's like, okay, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. The golf ball is doing X, Y, and Z. I'm hitting a push cut, can you help me fix that? Like, go there with a reason, don't just go there because like you want to get so-and-so has better swing or, this move doesn't look right because, on the PGA Tour, everyone has a different swing, So I think look at the golf ball first and then, understand path and face, understand your own swing, like try to dig deep into your own swing and, ask questions. And then if you feel like, you still can't get it or there's X, Y, and Z is, you want to improve that, then go see some coach. And I think also being really careful with who you see because it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of like, I don't want to like start going on and on swing coaches. There's a lot of swing coaches that truthfully just don't, I don't know if they really, know what they're doing. So it's, you got to be really, really careful with who you see. And, so it's tough. It's really difficult. I think everyone struggles with it. And I've seen coaches that have that, I've seen coaches for the wrong reasons and it's set me back a little bit. And, or I've seen coaches and it's helped me elevate my game. So it's really tricky. But I think it can be done right. If you, at the end of the day, you got to know your own game. Because if you don't know your own swing, your own game, a swing coach isn't going to do anything, So
I think that's really well said.
I would encourage everyone to really understand their own game, their own tendencies, and, ask these questions yourself so that when you're under pressure and you don't have a swing coach near you, you can elevate your game when the moment's the biggest.
Man.
So.
Really well said. That's really well said, Mahanth.
Oh, thank you.
Last question, Mahanth. You've shared a lot of like really awesome information. Really, I think the audience can see why you're the level of player you are. Would you have any closing advice out there for whether it's a junior golfer or like a freshman in college or sophomore in college? Any closing advice, can be golf related, anything related. I know you've shared about enjoying the team environment, but what's words of wisdom coming from Mahanth?
I don't know. I think one thing that's helped me is when I was young, I always had friends that could push me, right? Like one of my best friends in the world, Anowin Pigglethon, he was an incredible junior golfer. And I used to hang out with him every day. And I used to learn so much being around him, and I got better just being around him, just through osmosis, you know. I think always playing with better players at any level, or having a few friends that are just as good as you or better, can always push you to get better. And you don't even need to ask them questions. Just by being around them, you're gonna get better. And you know, so I would always encourage anyone to, you know, just be around the best players. And obviously you got to get lucky with that environment. It's tough, but you know, if you look at it, a lot of top players kind of come from the same cities. Like, there's a lot of great players in Dallas. There's a lot of great players in Southern California, and they're all
Yeah.
competing with each other. They're all friends, and you know, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think they all kind of push each other in these junior events, and they get better together. And that's what happens in college. Like, you're around really great players, and just like I am on this team, and they push me to get better, and I push them to get better. So I think in this game, you always need people around you, or the right environment to kind of guide you a little bit. You can't really do it yourself.
Mm.
Another thing is, you know, I've been really fortunate in my life to have a couple mentors at the right time. That's, you know, whether it's taught me certain parts of the game or taught me some mental aspects. You know, there's always been certain people that really kind of guided me.
Hmm.
And you know, I think at Pepperdine, just Coach Beard and Coach Nick, they've kind of been that for me here. They've really,
Yeah.
they kind of allow, I kind of get a level of freedom just going out and playing, because I know, like, you know, I can always fall back on them, and they
Mm.
could always guide me and teach me what it takes to get to the next level. And so I think it's important to have a couple people that are knowledgeable, a little bit older, that can kind of guide you through some adversity, because this game is very tough. And there's
Yeah.
going to be, at the end of the day, at every tournament, there's only one player going happy, because even
Yeah.
if you're contending and you feel like you came up short, there's one guy going home happy. So there's always ways to get better. And I think having someone there that can really help you through that adversity is important, because you cannot do it alone. At least I don't
Wow.
think you can.
No, that's really whether whether it's
Yeah,
golf or other things. I've come across a lot of professionals that have had a mentor, not
yeah,
just professional golfers, but just any realm of work or
yeah,
vocation, having people to help mentor and guide them. I hear that all the time as I've grown up, and so I
yeah,
think I appreciate you bringing that up for the audience to hear that.
yeah. And I think another thing, just throwing it out there, is just
No,
always
please, absolutely.
challenge yourself in practice. I think
Uh,
I've kind of done that over the years. I think I've always liked trying different things, like trying different shots, and I think that's a lot of fun. And I think, you know, I that's helped me a lot. Just like, okay, can I hit this shot, and can I try doing this, and okay, can I do it with this club, and now can I do it with this shot shape, and just being curious and open to trying new shots, because
yeah,
then you'll understand that, okay, I don't have these shots, and now how could I, you know, find a way to get them. So I think just being open to trying things and learning, and you know, just I don't know, having fun with that, because there's a little bit of fun in that as well. It's by just, you know, that curiousness.
yeah. Like you said earlier, kind of gamifying things, like
Right,
gamify
exactly.
challenging yourself with different
Right.
shots.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's very important. And you know, it's way better improvement than just, you know, doing the same drill over
yeah,
and over again.
yeah. Can I ask, Mahanth, with that line drill, do you work the ball at all to try and
Right.
like
Yeah.
hit it
I mean,
toward your
it
target?
actually, it quite depends on the condition. So when I was at USC, we did it in a simulator, and I would just hit the same shot and over again. And
Okay.
my scores would just be like ridiculously low, because we're in a simulator, you know, there's no wind, no outside circumstance. But at Pepperdine, or wherever we do it now, there's some sort of wind, right? There's always wind off the right or wind off the left. So
uh,
then over the years of doing it through different wind conditions, I've found a way to like find, how do I get the ball online through all these conditions. So like, I think that's
mm,
helped me a lot at Olympic Club when we played, was like, ball was below our feet, winds off the left, ball was above my feet, winds off the right. How could I get the ball online? And so I think, to answer your question, it's different almost every day, because there's no day where it's the same amount of winds, same circumstances, but you have to find a way to get the ball online. So that's a challenge, right? And I think that only helps you grow as a golfer and your skill, because you got to find a way to get it online when there's different conditions. So Absolutely. I think I would encourage everyone to do it, the decade line test, outside. But I mean, you could do it inside as well. It was fine when we did at USC. It was fine. But I would encourage everyone to do it, because I think it really gives you a baseline of where you're at.
Yeah. And then just as a reminder, so people don't have to scroll back. So it's 9 through 6.
9 through 6, yes.
20 shots.
20 shots. Drop the worst 2 shots you drop. So it's essentially 18 shots.
Okay.
You add up your score. It's in yards for 18 shots.
Okay.
The record, I think, is 27. So
wow.
If you can beat that, that'd be pretty insane.
Well, Mahanth, thanks so much. I have a feeling this podcast is going to be quite popular, and I might get demand for a session 2 with Mahanth. But thank you very much. Enjoy the off season.
Thanks, Coach. Yeah.
And
thanks, Coach.
Go Waves.
Thank you, Coach. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, go Waves. Thank you.
All right.